Would you be my? It's the done. I still got a lot of shit to learn.
Hello and welcome to the Purple Moon Podcast. We are here today to talk about manga and anime. And specifically, like the difference between the two and whether or not the liberties taken are like a good or a bad thing. And I think, certain circumstances will pull either result, just depending on which manga and anime you choose. But anyway, the first one I wanted to bring up was Boruto, because I've been reading Boruto and I have been watching Boruto, and I don't think you guys are up to date on that.
I'm not up to date. I did read a couple chapters though, so it's like I know a little bit of the beginning. But that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So the weird thing is that Boruto, the manga, starts in a different place that Boruto, the anime, starts in. Boruto, the anime, kind of just jumps into the slice of life, like everyday school life of Boruto, and explains it introduces the characters and what they do and like how they fight and all that stuff. And also, I'm gonna pass it on to the other people that are here that I didn't introduce. My brother Pilly.
I'm his brother Pilly. Malolele.
And my friend Wade.
That's me.
Yeah. So what do? Oh yeah. To finish off my thought before I pass it off to you guys, the manga starts in like the Boruto, like Naruto Gaiden, which was like kind of like a filler, like set of chapters that happens between Naruto and Boruto that kind of sets up Boruto. And so there's like a good like 10 chapters that in the manga that don't happen in the anime the same way. And it's weird because to me, I like when authors take like creative liberties and they do what they want to do and kind of make it their own version of the like project that they're working on, like whether it be Naruto or One Piece or whatever. And I like it when they like make it into something that it wasn't before, but close enough that you can recognize it as what it is, right? And you can connect it to the manga or the book version of whatever it is, right? But yeah, like what do you think? You don't have to talk about Boruto because I understand if you guys haven't. Mm-hmm. But anyway, yeah. Do you have any thoughts about this?
I have no idea. I've done no research into Boruto. I have no interest yet.
Well, okay, but outside of Boruto,
I do feel like the. What do you mean liberties taken?
So like there are certain things that the author or the illustrator or both probably will change about the like the art that they're working on, and it's usually not a huge change. It's usually a small change, but it kind of puts certain things in, like it shifts things so that later on there has to be some differences, like there has to be by default because there was this one difference beforehand, right? So for instance, and we don't have to just talk about anime and manga, actually. We can talk about like Western culture with novels going into movies and stuff like that, right? So for instance, I grew up reading the Percy Jackson series.
Beautiful.
I love that
Lovely,
series.
lovely.
You don't want to go there.
The books. Well, the
We're
movies.
already there. We're already
You don't
there.
want to go there.
I don't
We're
like
already
them.
there.
I don't like the movies.
I also don't like the movies.
I don't like the way they changed so much. So much. It's like it's basically a different story, Like especially because there's a lot of key points, like when Percy finds out when he finds out he can breathe underwater, it's because he's like running from this echidna and goes into this lake, and there's like a naiad at the bottom, right? Or I'm just gonna call it naiad, and like there's kind of a moment where he realizes he's not drowning.
Yep.
And that's like the moment he finds out. But in the movie, the first scene of the movie is him sitting at the bottom of a swimming pool for like 5 minutes straight. And I don't like that because that was such a huge moment because the like the echidna and everything that happens. It kind of, it's very like world building. You
I
know,
might blow your mind with this one, but I do remember the movie because I am still a huge Percy Jackson fan. Read through both of the series, even after the fact when it had switched off between SPQR and Greek.
Hmm.
The movie did not. He didn't know that he could breathe underwater at that point.
well, yeah, no, he didn't know.
Like he just said, I can just hold my breath a really long time. He didn't know that he could breathe
Yeah.
underwater.
That's
So
true.
it's just like that detail. No, don't
He
get me wrong,
almost
the
never
movie
even
sucks.
realizes.
I'm flat out telling the movie. The both of them sucked. Hate them. I can't.
I don't think they should have made the second one.
I love the books with a passion. Such well written. Rick Riordan, he's one of the authors that I want to meet the most because he creates so many good stories. Not even just Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
Even going over to the Kane Chronicles.
The Kane Chronicles, great series.
I loved it. They were so good,
Mm.
and there were only 3 books.
Yeah, just a trilogy. Yeah.
But the thing is, they were all well written, but I don't even remember who the director was for Percy Jackson.
I don't-
But the point being, the director for Percy Jackson took the story and screwed it over.
Mm. So I will say that there's a difficulty. There's definitely a big difficulty in translating a book that takes me like 10 hours to read into a movie that'll take me 2 hours to watch. You know, that being said, there has to be some things that are taken out. I just think, and changed, you know, I just think that the things that were chosen to be taken out and the things that were chosen to be changed were the wrong decisions. Like the way he finds out who his dad is. It's a huge moment. He's like, he doesn't know where to go. When he gets to the camp, right? He doesn't know which cabin to go to. He has no idea. And then that night at the dinner, the symbol shows up above his head. And you know,
I loved the way they did it in the book instead.
No, that's how it did happen in the book.
No,
Yeah,
wasn't it the capture
that's
the
how-
flag moment in the book?
No. In
No.
in the movie, he gets in a fight with Clarissa, and then she pushes him into the river, and then the water
No,
creeps up his nose.
before that, they bring him to the camp in the movie, and they take him straight to the Poseidon camp, the Poseidon cabin.
Well, no, but like, I haven't read it in so long, and I might be wrong, but didn't the book he figure out at the capture the flag, or I swear that he figured out and captured the flag when he did get pushed.
That was a hellhound.
No, not in the book.
Am I in the wrong book?
Well, okay, so the capture the flag moment, there
When he
was
got
a
healed by
capture
the water.
that was in the movie. In the book, there was like chariot races and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, I don't think the chariot race was in the first book, or at least not in the moment where he found out. You know, I think there was a thing that happened during the capture the flag thing, but it wasn't like concrete. It wasn't like this is like he is my father. You know, I think it was like and I do think there's like some like adrenaline type thing to do with where he was like maybe he wasn't paying attention enough or maybe he wasn't like thinking about it, but like the moment that like the reveal moment is at the dinner at night
Yeah, okay.
when
it's
the
becoming clear to
trident
me
comes
again.
above his head.
Because I remember there being a healing thing, but I don't think that was when he got claimed. Like I think
No, that wasn't when he got claimed. I do believe it happened.
Mhm.
You know, I don't think
like,
you're wrong
that's what
about
I'm
that.
talking about. I thought you were just totally ignoring the fact that he
Oh,
got
no, no,
healed.
no.
I was like, what? No.
No, he definitely. That's what. Yeah, but I just remember so clearly in my head while I was reading it because I had to imagine it that there was just a bunch of these like old not war torn, but like weathered tables that they had these like tattery cloths on,
Yeah.
and you gotta take a certain portion of your meal and like give it to your parents like as an offering, right? And so, but like Percy, didn't know who
to
to
give it
do
to
it to. Yeah, and so in the moment when he got claimed, there's also, is this now you read them about the same time as I did, Pill. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Hades appears in the campfire.
Yes.
Yeah, and he tells Percy, I have your mom."
That's in the movies.
That's in the movie.
That's in the movie.
I don't think Percy's mom got captured.
During the camp, he
Well, because she does go to the
castrated.
underworld, and he ends up having to go to the underworld to get her back.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
He
Okay,
had-
but
he
you're
had to
right in
gather-
him being in the campfire. That's part of the movie.
during that when he was claimed, and then they were like, "All right, that's your table over there," and he had to walk past everyone,
And
to the
everyone
big
stared
three
at
tables,
him.
and everyone stared at him.
Yeah, because
It
there's
was
not
definitely a
supposed to
moment.
be a big three child.
There's not. There's a prophecy.
Yeah.
That's not allowed.
Like
There's
he-
a rule.
Yeah, exactly. But that's much more prevalent in the book, where like the rules not even really acknowledged that much in the movie, if at all.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I just it's just weird. Like that, in my opinion, is one of the iterations that just failed, like wholeheartedly
Let's
just
not
failed.
even talk about Sea of Monsters movie.
But they finally
no.
got Annabeth right, kind of. Not quite. No, don't really look at it. She was round.
Yo, she was supposed to be-
Go ahead. What
on.
did you guys think of the second installment of the series?
The Last Olympian series.
Mhm.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it
So good.
more so than the first series, but because it had the first series as a foundation to build on.
Yep.
So I had all this like background knowledge and story and lore in my head, and I hadn't even started the series yet.
Mhm.
And on top of that, all the adventures that Percy goes through to become like this immortal, like only dying if he gets pierced in one specific spot in his body, it all goes away because he crosses that river
Yep.
into the Roman camp. Which is like, that's so frustrating to me as a fan of Percy, but as like the writing goes, it's such a good
It
way.
was a good move.
Yeah, it was such a great way to put him back at square one. Like now there's a reason Percy needs
I mean,
to
he
go
was
through
at
5
square
books.
one in multiple areas.
Yeah.
He lost his memory. He didn't know anything about
Yeah.
Half-Blood. He lost everything. He like barely knew who he was.
And he had to run from Gorgons, right? In order to get to the river in the first
Pretty
place.
sure it was the Furies.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Hades really
There
wanted
is
Percy.
one thing, one minute change that I don't like in any series that happened between the two. Look, you can go between characters all you want, but like the change from first person to third person,
Oh.
that just bothers me in any series I read. Like when I'm used to a series being first person, I see I, me, he.
Yeah.
But like I can see it being changed between characters.
Yeah.
Like if Piper was like, all right, I, me, and Percy was like, I, me, I'd be okay with that because that's what I was used to.
Mm.
Even if it didn't revolve around one character, if it just
Yeah.
stayed first person.
Okay, so I actually have the opposite opinion. I love that it went into a third person perspective.
It was. I will rarely say this. It was a good move on the part. It's just something that I just.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's with any series, and
Oh, I
maybe
see,
that is
I
an
see.
exclusion because it was a good move because it delved into like 6 characters.
Well, yeah, it gave the opportunity for one character to give out knowledge and little tidbits about like every character on
Yep.
the ship, you know? And so any character that is the focal point can also highlight the other characters,
Yep.
right? It's a very good world building like thing in my opinion. And that's why I liked it so much because on top of that, like you start reading into the books of the Last Olympian series, and then like people like Piper gets her moment and she becomes like a badass in her own right. And what's the guy's name? The
Which one?
Tinkerer.
Oh,
Leo?
Leo.
Leo, yeah,
Leo
Leo.
Valdez.
Leo ends up being one of my favorite characters in that entire series by the
I
end.
love Leo.
Yeah.
What?
It's
But he's so versatile and nice and kind and funny and cute and like really, actually really manly. I don't understand what would appeal.
all fair points. But he's not my favorite because my favorite is Frank.
Frank Zane.
He's so good.
Ah.
And he's also the only connection to Chinese mythology in
Yeah.
all of the Rick Riordan books, which is crazy that that he even went to that place,
Mhm.
right? To go so far as to like intermingle 2 different mythologies, but in such a like obvious way, where most of his like allusions and references are very subtle and very like for instance in the Kane Chronicles there's a scene where Carter is looking down into like a scrying glass, right? And when it's setting the scene, it talks about a flying black horse.
Yep.
In the background. That's gotta be blackjack.
Has to be.
And so like that's like a really, really subtle thing that a lot of people that I talked to that also read the books, they totally missed that.
Like it was a very minute detail, but when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, it's so awesome.
Right? That oh my gosh, dude. The thing is that getting back on like track, right? The Percy Jackson series, I think we can agree. I just don't think the movies.
They were not as successful.
Yeah,
series.
I think
the
the
movies were non-successful.
It was just like an obvious cash grab, in my opinion. I don't think it was like let's make these movies because I like the book series. It was like, this is a very popular book series. They're making The Hunger Games. That's another teen fiction novel. Let's just make
Yeah.
this. This should make money.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
like Hunger Games, Divergent, they were successful and good
Yeah.
movies, and they stuck pretty true to the book.
Yeah, I also read those series, so
Me
I
too.
understand what you're talking about. And it's like when I watched the Divergent series, like all 3 movies, I felt like I was reading the books. Of course there are changes and differences,
But they were slight.
yeah,
They weren't
it
major
didn't-
plot changes like Percy Jackson.
yeah, exactly.
Like I want a remake of those 2 movies, but I want a better director.
yeah, I just want a whole new team on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Different actor. Even though I like that actor, I do really like that actor. I don't remember his name.
Neither do I. I struggle with actors' names except for the few save for the few that I really enjoy. Like
Yeah.
the ones I really like.
It's
Jason Momoa.
it's good acting.
I agree.
It's a good one. Okay, so the next series I want to talk about is Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Ooh, okay.
Did you seriously have to do this too?
Lovely.
Are you kidding
Let's
me?
go. Let's do it. I'm ready. This
Oh,
is my-
Logan Lerman. Logan Lerman was the name of
Dude,
Percy.
No,
the actor.
no, you can't just cover that. You don't want Avatar.
Oh
Last
yeah, no.
Airbender.
I'm
What do you
getting
mean?
yeah.
Top-
Back
What
to
do you
Avatar.
In my
Okay,
top
wait,
3,
okay, wait,
best
wait.
TV show.
Will you pass
like,
that to me?
ever,
For
honestly.
sure.
Will you pass that to me?
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm ready for it.
Okay.
I'll take care of it.
Oh okay. Go off.
All right. Okay. So Avatar: The Last Airbender, we all know, it was a quote unquote kids show on Nickelodeon. Let's not go too deep into that detail. But after its completion, it did have some, let's say, iterations. One of them being a rather infamous movie, but another that was done absolutely correctly was 2 continuations of the story that did have some very slight changes to the world, but it progressed it beyond what it was and made it even better. One was to find Zuko's mother, and the other was to deal with Tops's parents. Not Tops. She's a young
Toph.
blind girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
And both of those were absolutely done beautifully. They were fantastic, but they were comics. They were technically manga.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is like that's like those 2 they were almost like epilogues in a way. You know.
Yeah.
And so like I feel you're right in there being slight differences in kind of like the world instead of there being like crazy obvious differences in characters or the way they act or the way like they interact with each other. But we can't just brush over that movie. That movie
Was
Please just brush
trash.
over the movie.
It
Please
was
just
it
brush
was a
over the
fire
movie.
trash.
I just want to bring up that it's like the amount of differences. It's not the same. It's a different story with a different main character, and his name is different. It's Ong. That's not the main character of Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's not. They don't even really act that much the same.
True.
You know.
are completely correct. There's also one very large detail that you're missing. Firebending.
Fire
All
bending.
you
Between
mean
that?
all the bending?
Actually, the biggest was firebending because guess what? You couldn't create your own fire anymore. There had
Yeah.
to be pre-existing flame. They shaped it into what waterbed in the show.
Yeah.
Just replace the element. Like, what the heck?
I agree. The thing is, like, one of the coolest aspects of Avatar: The Last Airbender is the bending.
Yeah.
You know?
my-
And so, like,
good.
even if they got everything else wrong, if they got the bending right, at least I could enjoy the action scenes. At
Yeah.
least I could enjoy the fighting and stuff. But they didn't. You got to do a whole dance move to throw a freaking candle worth of flame.
a candle has to already be lit.
let me
Yeah.
let me try to convince you that they did it semi right, that they do it completely wrong.
But the thing is that when you're comparing it to how the bending was handled in the TV show,
Mm-mm.
it's so drastic. The
Every
changes.
detail is not wrong. Like, we're not completely saying it's 100% wrong.
Yeah.
Details that are correct, don't get me wrong, but like, it's just so drastic that you can't really accept it the way
Yeah.
it is.
It overshadows like the amount of change overshadows the things they got right. You know.
In the first and second episode, there were soldiers that when they first entered the Southern Water Tribe, that had to use. They brought out these, like fire pits, and they had to use that fire to bend because they weren't true like powerful firebenders. They were just simply able to bend fire, but not created. They weren't that high level. And then throughout the series, the only benders they show are either high tier who can manipulate huge things, or yeah, no, that's all they show. But the ones they do show, that are weaker leveled, do show the kind of struggle that they showed in the movie, where there was in the show, I believe in book 2, Earth, there was an old dude caught in a mine in a city.
I know
where
what you're
earthbending-
talking about.
Yeah.
I
And the
know exactly what you're
dude,
talking about.
And he struggles so hard just to lift, like, I'd say 50-pound boulder, like something that just a grown man could pick up and lift with much more ease than him earthbending. But he did it, and the old man crawled out.
Yeah, but did
Yeah.
he have to perform an entire choreographed dance
No, it
routine
was-
in order to do so?
If I remember, it was like
No,
a kick
I just
and then
think
a
that's their
thrust.
way of showing that it's a struggle
But
for
the
these
thing is,
lower
like,
level people.
They could show it without all of that.
Like,
You know?
okay,
Like with the shaking of the hand as it comes up.
that's
or,
what
you
I
know,
was
like
about to mention right now.
yeah.
Is firebending in specific? I'm sorry, I just cannot get over the firebending at all in the movie. But the thing is, with the firebending, it was just like you could have a gout of flame, it's a steady gout of flame,
Mm.
but the struggle, you're keeping it you're struggling to keep it actually steady. But like in the movie, you still need to be like flipping around to keep it steady. When
Yeah.
in reality, in the show, you're just holding your hand there, no matter how much you're struggling.
Right. Because the struggle is internal. Like in the show, the struggle is internal. And when it becomes external is when the struggle, it's like when opportunity and like the training that they've been doing finally come to a point, like a conjecture, and then it comes bursting out, right?
Yep.
Out of their hands or out of their feet even, like. And it also eliminates a lot of possibilities in the future if they keep doing the bending like that. Like the dance that Zuko and Aang have to do is like entirely like torn apart because of this bending. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yes, it's like the closest thing to what they have in the movie, where they have this dance that they have to do with each other, but the fire, like, it builds as they go. It's
Yeah.
not we're not going to know if it works until the end. It's like you can feel it as you go, and the more you get into the groove and the more you get into like the dance and the technique of doing it, like the better and stronger, more powerful it becomes, right? But that's not translated when there's no fire on screen.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's and on top of that, it's so impractical to have fire in order to hit, because like that's the lighters don't exist.
No.
You're gonna carry a lit wick. You know what I'm saying? Like that's so impractical. You need 2 extra people to go with you if you're the only firebender, because they have to carry the fire pit.
That's true.
I'm going to
That's true.
interject here again, going back to that dance. In the animation, so smooth, so beautiful. But the reason why it was a dance is comparative to other techniques. Like the movie, I guess, was like, I'm going to watch the last thing of Avatar. That was like, all right, that must be how all bending works, right? But the reason why it was a dance, it was ceremonial.
Yeah.
It was a tradition. The goal was not to bend. The goal was to find equilibrium, and it was a tradition. It was ceremonial, and it was beautiful.
yeah.
And it built and built until it finally released.
But
But in the movie,
in the movie, it doesn't build.
not even
It just releases.
yeah, and it made me so sad. I was like, they're gonna do the dance. Like, and then the dance wasn't nearly as like, this is amazing. Like
Yeah, that's
talking makes me want to go back and watch it.
Yeah, in the animated series, it's an awe-inspiring scene. Watch dance, you know.
Oh yeah.
Even when they fail, it's still awe-inspiring to watch them attempt to dance. Whereas in the movie, it's like, okay, this is just like everyone else. This is not special. Like, this is just normal. Like, everyone else has to do these moves as well. Like I said before, the struggle that Aang and Zuko have to go through is eternal, where they're like opposite end spectrum, but they have to meet in the middle in order to make this work, and have to make this work in order to, I don't know, save the world, you know, like.
Yeah.
And the anime, or I get, is Avatar: The Last Airbender considered an anime?
It very well could be. Like,
No,
what
I
is the
think it was
criterion for an?
I think it was a cartoon based on Eastern philosophy and things like that.
What is the criterion for an anime?
I think it's an animated like show from
Eastern.
the
But it doesn't.
Eastern
But who
side.
says it needs to be from Eastern?
Well,
Western adapts it too.
I feel like that's the only.
it adapts the style, like the art style.
Well, no, but like Western adapts actual anime itself too. Like
yeah.
not even that, but even then, existing Eastern anime, right? What does Western do? But they give them American voices. Like not just
Okay,
that.
but it's like it originates in the Eastern, right? Whereas like, would you consider like Ruby an anime?
What
Yeah.
is that?
Yes, I would.
That's created by that's created in the West, no?
Yeah, it is. Like I said, it's not limited to specifically East.
Okay.
Like I totally count Avatar as. I'm looking at all these, but yeah. So I looked up American anime, just not even just American. Put it into a general location because that's honestly kind of the easiest thing to. First thing I saw was Ruby, just as you were mentioning. Second thing I saw was The Legend of Korra. Like anime, not prescribe itself to be strictly Eastern and Japanese. It can be anywhere. I can't even name the criteria besides animated and not real
Not live action.
live action. That's the term I was looking for. I don't know why I was going to say real time. As long as if it's not live action, it's actually animated. That's pretty much just an anime.
Okay, so would you consider like Ed an anime?
I mean, it also kind of based off the point because cartoons and anime have a forward.
True.
But cartoons, they just go nonsense to nonsense from episode to episode. But if you look at Ruby, if you look at Korra, Avatar, they have a central, ongoing plot. Like it's actually making sense.
Like
Have
Family
you-
Guy?
Would Family Guy, like shows like Family Guy and American Dad, be considered anime?
But again, that's just non-episode.
Okay,
episode.
that's true.
There's no forward-moving plot.
Have you watched any of Steven Universe?
A little bit, yes.
Because Steven
And it
Universe
can be
has a
considered that
linear.
because it does forward-moving plot.
Okay. All right. I see.
Like cartoons are created not to entertain, actually mostly just to entertain. Fair, but cartoons are created mostly to entertain from episode to episode, and they're all adult cartoons like American Dad and Family Guy.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but there's also younger anime like Teen Titans.
Yeah. Speaking of like iterations, like there's the Teen Titans being comics, and then into the anime inspired Teen Titans, right? And then moving Teen Titans Go, and then finally moving into the Teen Titans Go movie. Like, do you guys have any thoughts about that?
Teen Titans Go over cartoon than an animated nonsense.
Yeah, I agree.
Episode to episode.
I agree.
Don't get me wrong. That's something that I will stand by. I don't really know much about the movie to say anything about it.
So the movie is about how Robin is butthurt that he doesn't have his own movie. Batman a movie, Aquaman's getting a movie, Superman's getting a movie. Robin wants a movie.
I have one word for that. Nonsense.
The thing is, so the whole reason why I bring it up, and I hope you guys don't mind me spoiling the end credit scene.
Oh, I know what scene you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking
I
about?
know what you're talking about. I have seen that.
So the whole movie is about like Robin trying to get a movie, and they're trying to get that.
I'm gonna right now. There are spoilers ahead.
Oh yeah, good idea. Spoilers ahead. Turn it off. The end credits scene regardless of what the movie's about, honestly, regardless of what the movie's about, the end credit scene is the old style Teen Titans animation. Like it shows them, they're like, we found a way back.
I remember the exact lines.
Okay,
This is
yeah,
the
explain
Teen
it.
Titans. Canadian era. We
Yeah.
think we found a way back. And I'm just like, they're bringing back the original Teen Titans.
Yeah, I hope Teen
Yeah.
Titans and Teen Titans Go they run like simultaneously. I really do, because Teen Titans Go, I don't think it should go away. I think it's good for what it is and what it was made for, you know, a comedy based cartoon.
Mhm.
But Teen Titans is missing. There's like a hole Teen Titans was. And
because nothing's been able to fill that.
yeah, I mean, Young Justice is great, but it
Yeah,
couldn't fill it.
It is good.
So in Young Justice, the whole crew, there is a like a group feeling, and
Mhm.
it's cool and it's good and it's great. I do love the atmosphere that's built and the characters and the way that they with each other. That being said, it's no Teen Titans. Teen Titans was a great, like amazing show. The way that the characters developed and changed and evolved, I felt like I was growing up with them, you know,
Yeah.
watching them. And then I do want to just talk a little bit about how Teen Titans Go is different, because it changes into an entirely different show, and it's no longer like an action adventure. It's just it's like a comedy. It's just basically just a straight up comedy.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with that. I don't even think Teen Titans Go is a bad show. It's just not what Teen Titans was,
Correct.
which I miss.
That's why a lot of people hate Teen Titans Go, is because they're like, it was supposed to be the new Teen Titans.
Mhm.
It's a cartoon. It's meant to make you laugh. And me as a kid, that did. I'm gonna start by disclaiming here. Going back to Avatar just for a split second, that was my number one. Now back to Teen Titans, easily number two. So close to Avatar because it was that good.
Mm.
Young Justice was great and all, but it couldn't top those.
Unfortunately, I wouldn't put Young Justice like in my top 5.
Exactly, because
You
there
know.
was so much better.
Yeah. Plus, there's just so much more show to reference with Teen Titans
Mm-hmm.
and Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we'll probably wrap things up. Do you guys have any like closing thoughts?
Avatar forever.
No. Sokka forever. Screw the Avatar.
No, I was talking about the show, not a specific character.
Oh, I understand that. But just
Exactly.
it wasn't specific enough. Sokka's
Okay.
the best.
Sokka is fantastic, though. Sokka is very awesome.
Saga,
Goodbye, Meteor
that
Sword.
Meteor Sword. Yeah, and friendly mushrooms.
That's what I was gonna say.
All right, guys. Join us back again on the moon, the purple moon. Goodbye.
Death on your shirt. Yeah, tomorrow I gotta go back to work. I hate my life. I hate my life.